So to start out my film, I kind of decided to do a montage of a few different iconic movies that I really liked, and I think it turned out really well. And then my title sequence, I was able to put like a nice little girly touch to it using that special font with a nice little pink shadow. I really like the look of that, and I think my title sequence was really fun. I think the music matched really, really well as well. It's really fun, really upbeat, and it can show you the difference between the beginning of the film versus the end. I really thought these parts here maybe could have been a little bit more interactive. I really wasn't sure what to do as far as scripts go, just because I'm not the most comfortable on camera, so I wasn't sure how to word all that. My reactions, I think my reactions are pretty okay. My screen recordings definitely came out a little blurrier than I intended, but you can still kind of read the text fairly well. You can read it well enough to understand the story and everything. And you can see that the characters progress in talking with each other as the conversation continues, and we see how the different interactions go. I added this scene here where we go into the bathroom just to give it a little bit more of an environment to the film, just kind of show a different aspect of her room, just to kind of make it feel more real, more relatable. Because, I mean, we're hanging out in our bedroom. What do you do before you go to bed? You're brushing your teeth, doing your skincare routine, all that good stuff, getting ready to go to bed, rest up for the night, get your beauty sleep. So I did this just to kind of make it much more relatable, allow the audience to get to know the character and all that good stuff. It might have gone on just a little too long. I noticed me brushing my teeth here is just a little, it seems like it was paced a little odd. And then we have where we have the notification, and I thought this was a fun way to kind of transition back into the conversation, but to also kind of foreshadow that he is catching her off guard, and these messages are kind of alerting her, and she was surprised by those. And that just kind of foreshadows to the later surprise in the film. As far as developing the conversation, it's very, very simple, very back and forth. Again, these two people are just kind of now starting to talk to one another. They really haven't spoken before, so it's not going to be in-depth conversation. But I think it's well enough to get the story flowing and paced well. We have her try to video call him, and I think that's a really good idea because it shows the lack of interest on his part and the hesitancy and wanting to be on camera, wanting to show his face, and wanting to be upfront with her about who he is, and what his intentions are in these conversations with her through Facebook and things like that. And you see a lot of these go on in horror movies that always take place online. There's the video chats, or like in the TV show Catfish, there's the avoidance of video calls, not wanting to prove that you are who you say you are, things like that. And so that was kind of the whole thing here. And she's really kind of taken back by this, and she doesn't answer. So she was going to type back, but then we see that he responds, kind of trying to cover that up there because he realizes he kind of messed up. And I had a little noise outside of her room to kind of foreshadow that there was someone in her apartment, and she was almost a little too caught up in her computer to even realize it. Because the second she gets another message from him, she just totally walks away from the door and completely forgets about the noise she heard out in her living room. So it just kind of goes to show your naiveness to your environment and your safety, and you're just assuming like, oh, just a noise out there, probably just nothing, like a cup foul, things like that, no big deal. But we find out later in the film that it was a much bigger deal than she really had known at the time, and she kind of brushed it off more than she should have. And you can see here in these text messages here that she's a little leery. And we have our other character respond by, you should maybe try locking your doors. So this kind of gives that hint that he is in her apartment. He knows that her doors are unlocked and that there is something really, really off here. Considering she just heard a noise, she starts to anxiously blow him up. She's terrified. She doesn't know what's going on. She's just trying to understand what he's talking about, what he means by that. And all of a sudden, she's getting no answer at all. So it's a really frustrating situation for her, all in all, I can imagine. So you're trying to get these answers. You feel like you're in jeopardy. You don't feel safe in your own home anymore. It would really be a scary feeling. This part here, I feel like I definitely needed to add some more dialogue. The story flows nicely, but it definitely isn't a silent film. Silent film was not a great way to go with my first narrative. But I learned that the hard way for sure, and it definitely could have been played out well. This part here definitely needed some tweaking as far as editing. I was trying to do like a whole split screen. Again, with that lacking on actors, you kind of had to make do with what you had, to where I had to play both me turning around, me entering the door, but it turned out a lot smoother than I had thought. And then we go into our credit sequence, all that good stuff. It goes to black, and we are able to see the title, the Caitlin Weisel Presents, in association with Full Sail Student Productions. So we have a really nice end screen there, gives you kind of the basics rundown of the film. And here I kind of added that last little clip where we have our creepy person kind of nonchalantly smiling into the camera like they did something mischievous and kind of leaves that little cliffhanger.